Everything Film is supported by Vancouver Young Actors School with 2 locations near Science World and now open in Port Coquitlam's Fremont Village. Week-long summer camps are available July and August in both locations beginning July 4th. VancouverYoungActorsSchool.com.
And I think we're going to have somebody on from the Young Actors School.
Yes,
or were you keeping that as a surprise?
We are going to have one of the young actors on this program, absolutely. Right now, not a young actor, but a veteran actor. Phil Granger is our guest, and man, when you look at the body of work that you've done, and when I was going through your reel, the thing that really creeps up to me was you can play badass so damn well.
Great. How do you answer that right off the bat, eh, Phil?
Well, it's funny because I haven't really, the badasses I've played, I guess have been good. Because normally I have a pretty wide range. I play everything from Disney dads to sociopaths. But thank you for that.
So, because we've asked, there's this recurring theme when we have guests on our show that have the ability to do both worlds. Disney dad or badass? What's the more desired role that Phil Granger goes for?
The one they hired me for. The one I'm doing is the best one.
Yeah.
It's always like, for me, it's always moving forward, kind of, like the job that you have is the best one you've ever had, right?
Well,
so
Leslie sent
you approach
a clip.
it like that.
Leslie sent a clip of something you did recently. What was it?
It was called Made, I believe.
Made is the one that we're talking about, and that's a big time show. So, badass or
no, he was a good. He was a
good guy?
like a public defender, kind of lawyer.
Okay,
he was a lawyer who does estate law, who volunteers his time to help people in trouble. Especially young women in trouble. So, as you know, Margaret Qualley's trying to put her life together, and I advise her on how she can do that.
Was that out? Did they shoot that in the island?
Yeah, Vancouver Island.
So you were out there for a while? They put you up out there? Oh, nice, nice.
Now, you've probably traversed the major acting locations in North America. Are you currently Vancouver-based?
Yes.
You are?
Yeah.
Where did the journey begin? Where did you...
Where did I start acting? Yeah. Well, the journey began when I was a little kid in Scheltgen Bay. There's a small town next to Scheltgen Bay called Maple Bay. And a movie called 5 Easy Pieces that Bob Rafelson was directing came to our town. We had a boat at the marina. And so the film crew took over the entire little town. And so as a kid, I could walk around and I'd go, what do you do? And they'd go, oh, I do the clothing. I'm like, clothing? Okay, yeah, I dress the actors. What do you do? I'll make the food. Oh, that's good. Now I walk up to this guy and I go, what do you do? He goes, I'm an actor, kid. An actor?
Mm.
They pay you for that? He goes, oh, yeah. It was Jack Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson, yeah.
Yeah, Jack Nicholson. And so...
actually, that wasn't that bad. Do that
again.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That wasn't that
tick,
bad.
tick, ticking on the typewriter means I'm working.
That's not bad. It means
it's
that's
funny,
actually
Phil,
pretty good.
when you mentioned Bob Rafelson, he was involved with the Monkees.
Yeah.
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 I was trying to draw the pieces. When you said 5 Easy Pieces, the first I'm thinking of is Nicholson, but that's a nice little perk on your resume, isn't it?
Bob Rafelson. Well, I didn't do anything
but
except walk around.
You were there to say I saw on the set with Nicholson. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I just walked around, and I'd seen a lot of theater with my grandmother. She used to take me to
that film? Sorry, I missed that. Where was that?
Maple Bay.
Maple Bay.
Yeah, I don't even know what year it was. I was a little kid.
So where's Maple Bay?
Maple Bay is on Vancouver Island.
So
it's near Duncan.
Yeah.
So it's right on the water. It's just a little town, and
but so that was the inspiration. Then you kind of thought, "Wow, I could do this, or I want to do this."
My main inspiration was my grandmother, because we used to go to theater together. She used to take me to these little plays. There were pantos mostly, where they do musical and pirates and everything, and we used to just go, and it was so incredible. But I never entertained the idea that you could actually do that for a living until I met him, until I had that exchange. And then I thought, well, God, an actor, they pay you. And that kind of is what happened for me. So then from that moment on, I just thought about it and worked towards it, and ended up going to New York and training, and then moved to L.A. and did some work there. And then I also was involved in making films, so I did a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff. I worked with James Cameron and Gail Ann Hurd and Bob and Denny Skotek and Charlie Scoris and all these great filmmakers. And Bill Paxton became my best friend. Wow. So we ended up, making little short films together, and mostly his. I just helped out. And then over the years, I've been I was cast in a show called Neon Rider. I don't know if you remember that.
Of course, yeah.
So
Winston
I played
Record.
with Winston. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was in the early '90s. I got cast in that show, and I ended up doing 3 years, which brought me back to Vancouver, and basically from that point, I just stayed because it was really great.
What point was it, do you recall, when you realized that, I can actually make a living doing this? You probably augmented with side hustle in the early days.
Yeah.
But what point was it that enough dollars are rolling in the door per month that I can call myself an actor?
Well, it's funny because, when I was a kid, I thought, I can get paid for this, but it didn't become about that. Like the money just was something that was a bonus to doing it. I'd do it for free. When I started, I did it for free. Don't tell anybody that. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
My agent's going to love
Phil,
this.
I hear you work
he's
for
gonna
free
love
these
this
days.
interview.
That's great.
But
Well, you're working for free right now.
Yeah, I'm working for free right now. I love acting, and I love actors, and I love the whole process of filmmaking. So that's the pay for me, and then the money thing, that's good too.
Yeah.
Well, Phil, I'm gonna step in here because this is what's always been interesting to me. So you're like a guy that's done so much. You've made money. You've done a career. You've gone through it. You've done many things, but if you're walking down the street, being recognized, you're that guy from that thing. You know what I mean?
Guy.
So you're the sort of guy. You never, no one's ever said, "Oh my God." So crossing over to that, you know what I mean? To be like, I'm so famous, let's bring out Jack Nicholson or any other name is very difficult. Wouldn't you agree? Like
Being that.
Yeah, to get over, like, oh
you
my
mean
God, where like people
go-
are chasing you down the street.
Yeah, to go up that level.
Who is
Yeah,
it?
it's a large
Yeah.
jump for sure.
There was actually a documentary on it. It was You're That Guy in That Thing. We talked about that before.
Yeah.
And the guy that was in Groundhog Day, like Ned, whatever.
Yeah, he's that guy in that thing.
He's the number one guy that everybody walks up to. You're that guy
guy
in that thing. And he said he gets that all the time.
Yeah.
Ned, and you know what? I don't even know his name as an actor, but he's that guy that So I see you like that kind of like you're right there, and it's like you're that guy.
I'm that guy that in that thing.
Yeah,
That's not a bad thing.
no, but that's not a bad thing.
I'm in this thing. This thing's out on. It's called Cosmic Dawn. A little plug, a little shameless plug.
Yeah.
Movie I did in Ontario.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? It's true. I am very fortunate that way that I've been able to do lots of different parts. To be able to, I'm still after it. To be honest,
Yeah, and
I'm still after it.
and that's
you never
great.
know when
That's
that's going to come,
And
I don't
have
give
you
up.
been recognized for something before?
Yeah,
Like,
Tucker and Dale.
Can you remember a time when it was like people came up?
Well,
a little
Neon
bit more than
Rider
before?
was when I was on Neon Rider.
Yeah.
I looked more like I looked, and that was you'd be in the mall at Walmart, and I'd like, "Hey, you're Walt from Neon Rider."
Oh, that's kind of neat.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. But Tucker and Dale versus Evil was a pretty big hit movie, and it still runs. And I play the sheriff in that. A lot of people recognized me from the sheriff when I look without the beard. And I have a really big show coming out this year
That you can't talk about.
that I can't talk about.
Okay, yeah.
I hate that.
It potentially could be take me out of that guy thing. But another thing that I do is I head a conservatory acting program. I've done that. I've headed it for 15 years. I've been there for 20. It's called New Image College, and we have a program that is for actors who are out of high school. And what's unique about our program is that we produce films and we do theater, and we have professional actors teaching at our school. So John Emmett Tracy from Yellowstone is one of our instructors. Dakota Dolby is one of our instructors, and Rogie Yu, etc. And the cool part about it is that I get to see these young actors go out the door and do incredibly well. Like they become successful.
Very driven.
And that's beautiful for me. Been doing it for a long time, and I really care about them, and the school cares about them, and so.
Well, because we do have a young actor on the premises today.
Yeah.
What pearls of wisdom do you impart to a young person that decides, I want to do this, I want to do that? I mean, because can anybody do anything in the acting realm, or do you pretty much have to kind of stay in your lane?
The thing that you have to realize is that they don't have time to train you on the day. If you run out of time on a film set, you're done. So you need to train really hard, which he's doing, and take it seriously. Realize that for a person to get a movie made, they might have been pushing that stone up the mountain for 10 years to get the financing for that film.
Yeah.
And, people don't take that seriously enough. It's not really a game. It's a serious profession. The thing that's weird about acting is that I think it's a little out of balance, the movie star thing. Not talking about myself. I'm just saying that actors are so lauded that it's kind of out of balance because it takes 50 people to make a movie. There's all the people that do the financing. It's all the wardrobe. It's all the music. It's all of that, right? So take that part seriously. Know that you're only part of the clock. You're not the clock. You're just you're a spring in that clock as an actor. And so that would be my advice to anybody if they wanted to pursue this. Realize that you're part of a bigger thing, that it's an ensemble of people that are all have the same goal in mind, right? And
it's not about you.
No.
I was watching a podcast with Bryan Cranston, and he said the same thing. He said, it's business. You're there to work. Like, even in an audition, he said, you're there to work. You're not there to hang around 10 minutes later and go, how's life with you and whatever, right? You're there to work. And I kind of hear that you're kind of saying that, like, okay, it's business. You're here to work, and you're good at what you do. Be prepared. Be all those things, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm wondering, because you hear a lot of times, certainly in the States, anybody can grow up to be the president of the U.S. That may be a lofty goal, but anybody can get into politics. That's a realistic goal. In the world of acting, can anybody basically achieve anything if they set their mind to it? I mean, do you ever work with a blank canvas and you work with somebody, you go, I just don't see it. I just don't think it's going to happen for you.
Do you know what's funny? You don't know who's going to make it. That's the thing. There's room for everybody. And the thing that we can't give someone is the belief and the absolute proof that they can do it themselves. I guess that's what I'm saying, is that I can give you the skills to be an actor, but you have to believe that it's possible for yourself. That's what you're saying?
Yeah, and the other thing, Phil, is I know that there's never an expiry date. But look at Gloria Stewart in Titanic. I mean, I think she landed her first role at like late 80s or early 90s, so it is possible. Yeah. But I'm curious about that, because I just think that you see all types of people. Everybody's got something in them, but not everybody has that it quality that they talk about, that something.
Well, you don't know what that it is, honestly. Just watch films and television. It's like, I think if you can bring your authentic self forward, right? If you can bring who you really are forward, then that's something.
But you're still
right?
it's interesting you say that, because you're still can be put in a pressure situation on set. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, maybe you can elaborate. You've been in a position before. Oh, we rewrote this scene. Here's some rewrites. Blah blah blah. Memorize this in 30 seconds because we're gonna go. Yeah. Right. Because and then it's like you're in a pressure situation, right? Yeah. And you're like, can I remember that? Can I? Maybe you can kind of like say, like, cause that's business, right? That's putting yourself in a position.
That's
right?
what I'm saying is,
and that's a skill, right?
You got to look at it like the Olympics.
Yeah.
Like you have to operate at that caliber as an actor, but it's not. It's what you want it to be about is the work and telling the story and helping everybody around you do the best that they can. Yeah. That's your job, right? So you got to put everybody. You have to place yourself in as someone who helps everybody else make it happen.
Yeah.
And not be difficult at all.
Can you think of a time where you were put in a difficult? Like
yeah,
what I just said, really difficult.
Yeah, no, I did a movie with Robert Duvall, and they were doing rewrites every night. And so in the morning we'd get the rewrites of the scenes every morning, and so But the thing about that is that your job is to learn the lines, and if you know your character. If you know who it is that you're playing, and you know their history, and you know where they came from, and you know what they're fighting for, it doesn't matter what the words are. The words are just different words. Who you are is exactly the same. So then you learn the words. You get, you're running them all the way out to the set, in the van. You're like, God dang it.
Yeah,
but
okay.
everybody knows you got the lines in that before.
Yeah.
So I think the trick is to take the pressure off yourself, right? So you do the work before you get there.
Right.
So if you're struggling with the lines that got sent under the door the morning of, you haven't done your job. You don't understand what you're doing there. You don't understand your character. You don't understand the story of the script, the style, everything. You figure those things out, then the new words are just words. But the thing that you want to do is not pressure yourself unrealistically. Mm-hmm. So if you're less experienced, you might go, oh, my God, I got all these lines out. And then that becomes what you're focusing on.
And then, you know what?
And everybody else knows you got them. Everybody else knows you got them the night before.
So you'll change the words a little bit to stay in character.
No, I'll keep the words exactly the same. But
on the script?
I like to honor the writers because my beginning was in the theater. I spent 10 years in the theater. So if you're going to change dialogue, it's usually with a writer and with the director, and it's usually because
you flip a word
something
or something
doesn't work out.
Yeah.
But I try to learn them as best I can. But what I'm saying is that you get these new pages, actors freak out because they think, oh my God, I got to learn all this, and everyone's going to be judging me and they're watching what I'm doing. And realistically, all you have to realize is that everybody got the same pages the same morning. So you're all doing this together, including the crew, including the director. Everybody got new. So then just take the pressure off. Is that helpful? Is that helpful, young man? There you go. Hot tip.
Billy's taking
yeah.
Well, we'll get you out on this, Phil. Because you mentioned Duvall, and I found this a very humorous story. He was telling being on set with Marlon Brando on Apocalypse Now. Mm-hmm. And he was saying that when it came time to do solo shots on Brando, they would send for the stand-in for him. He goes, no, I'm in a scene with Brando. I'm going to stand for myself. And Brando used him had Post-it notes on his forehead for his lines.
For whose lines?
For Brando's lines.
Oh, so
Duvall's wearing Post-it notes on his forehead.
That's
so
amazing.
Brando can read his lines, but he's in a scene with Brando.
Well, Brando, he wanted to, he had the ear thing.
Yeah.
I think he just wanted to not worry about that. He just wanted to embody the character. That was his process.
And every young filmmaker should see Hearts of Darkness, the making of Apocalypse Now, and ask yourself, do I really want to do this? Phil Granger, pleasure to meet you, sir. Thanks for joining us.
All right. Thank you.
Cheers.